You're listening to Lights Camera Latino, the podcast, hosted by Angel Fabian Rivera. Remember to follow us on our social media platforms as Lights Camera Latino and Angel Fabian Rivera. Hola, mi gente. Welcome to Lights Camera Latino, the podcast. This is a place where we dive deep into the captivating world of entertainment with influential Latinos shaping the industry. As always, I am Angel Fabian Rivera, and I'm so excited to come back for a new episode here to talk about, new things, what's happening around. And I'm excited to bring someone who is local to Atlanta right now and who's doing a difference in the industry. But before I introduce him, I want to let everyone know that you can go and get your merch for Latinos and creators right now at latinaaf.com. Thank you for everyone who's been supporting this new thing, this new project. It's for us, it's for creators. And if you don't know about Latina AF, it's a page, it's a website, it's merch for creators and Latinos.
Go get that merch.
Yeah, go get the merch, man. I mean, we're navigating the industry and we're here to stay and, support Latino businesses. So thank you everyone who's been supporting already. And if you don't, you can also visit our Instagram, Latina AF, just like that. But now I'm ready and I'm excited to dive deep into someone who I've been seeing a lot here in Atlanta. We met at some events, but I'm excited to talk about your journey today. Today we have Benett Sullivan. Benett Sullivan is an actor, writer, director, and the founder of Golden Century Films, a production company dedicated to bridging the gap between art and social change. His journey into storytelling began during a 4-year battle with leukemia, where he discovered just how powerful stories can be as a lifeline. Now he channels that experience into creating films that heal, connect, and inspire. Through Golden Century Films, Benett uplifts marginalized voices and builds community through art. His latest project, Spider-Man Alone, which I'm excited to talk about, is a character-driven fan series reimagining the iconic hero's earliest days, described as the perks of being a wallflower meets Stranger Things. Ooh. The series reframes Peter Parker's origin as the story of a marginalized kid searching for identity while being hunted by his first villain, the Chameleon. Ooh, Benett! Heck yes! How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm brilliant. I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much for having me. Again, it's a privilege to be here and for you to do what you do, giving a platform to more Latinos in the industry. It's fantastic. So
yes, man. No, I'm excited to bring you here and thank you again for being here and thank you for for your work and and I know you've been through a lot and you've used that to that has really shaped you into the man you are today and I'm and that's very inspiring. So I'm excited to really talk about that. But before we dive deep, Benett, where do you come from? What's your heritage? Because I know I've seen some Puerto Rican flags out there. Can you share a little bit about your background?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am mixed. My mother's Puerto Rican and my dad is Irish. He's white.
Ooh.
So I have actually I have 2 older brothers. And they actually got the green eyes and I'm the only one with brown eyes. I look just like my mom and they look a little bit more like my dad, but yeah, I'm Puerto Rican and Irish. So I get a little bit of both worlds and a lot of hot-headedness from both sides. So.
I imagine. Yeah. It's very interesting because I've heard a couple of mixes of Irish and Puerto Rican already. You're like the third person I meet
really?
that is like Irish and Puerto Rican. That's very interesting to me. I'm like, wait, what's with the Irish and Puerto Ricans getting together?
They want good food.
Right? I guess that's it. So did you grow up here in Atlanta?
No, so I'm actually from Connecticut. I'm a New England guy. Coming down south, honestly, was a culture shock in and of itself for me. Just being from Connecticut. We had a lot of ideas about like what Southern life was kind of like. And when I came down here for college, I went to Coastal Carolina. Man, it just kind of threw me for a loop, and not bad things either, just very different things, just very
Yeah.
different. But yeah, that's where a lot of my family's from. Obviously, my grandparents are from Puerto Rico, so when they came here, they lived in Connecticut, and we all just kind of came out of there. Now we're all over. I mean, we have family down in Florida, still some in Connecticut, and kind of all over the place. So everybody's branched out now. But
Yeah, no, it's very interesting that you mentioned Connecticut because I know a lot about the Puerto Ricans moving to Connecticut, and I know there's a big community of Puerto Ricans in Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken, right?
yeah, so I'm from New Britain, and that's where
Mhm.
a lot of Puerto Ricans that at least I grew up with are from
Interesting.
too. New Britain's like a kind of a melting pot, but there's a lot of Puerto
Mm.
Ricans there and a lot of Polish people there too, and that's kind of it, you know. But
Oh
yeah,
my God, that's crazy. I love that. So how do you say that you grew up with the Puerto Rican heritage in there, like you with the culture being very in there? You feel like you were like, okay, I'm surrounded by Puerto Ricans.
oh, absolutely. I definitely had we all had difficulties kind of growing up on both sides. But we spent a lot of time with the Puerto Rican side of my family. I mean, every holiday essentially was
Mm.
with them, every birthday was with them. And I'm fortunate that, I got to grow up with my aunts and my cousins all around me. So, um, yeah, there was a lot of time we spent together. Sports, I mean, we're a big baseball family, of course. So
Mm.
we all just kind of grew up together. Yeah.
Oh, I love that, man. Uh, just a couple of quick question here. What's your favorite Puerto Rican dish? Ah,
Hey, I'm partial. I do have a favorite. I have a few favorites. Really,
I have a few.
anything my grandma cooks is my favorite. But pollo guisado is just
Ooh,
it's.
ooh,
I mean, I make it now like all the time.
yeah.
It's just a comfort dish for me. Yeah,
It is definitely a comfort dish, and I love that you say that because I love pollo guisado too. And do you like to eat it with rice,
of course. Yeah,
white rice or yellow rice?
I've been doing white rice recently, but if I'm ever with family, that's almost blasphemous because Puerto Rican, orange rice with gandules is just kind of what you eat with everything. So,
Yeah,
yeah, it just takes a little bit more time to prep. So,
it does take a little bit more time. Yeah, sometimes
so
like just white rice is easier to do. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Oh my God, I love that. Bennett, so it's very interesting, right? Like you grew up with these two heritage, right? With these two different cultures. I imagine that must have been like a roller coaster of like, wait, where do I actually fit in? I don't know, how
exactly right.
was growing up, right? Being having those two cultures in you and growing where you were growing at.
Yeah, I found it very difficult actually. That's something I talk about still today. That's something conversation I've had with my mom a lot.
Mm.
Um, Even within my own family, no one did anything wrong, but like,
Mm.
I definitely look the most Puerto Rican of my brothers. I get
Mm.
a lot of my genetics from my mom. And so even that in and of itself kind of made me feel like an outcast at home sometimes. But really, it would be like when I'm in school. When I'm in school, I have my name is Benett Sullivan. Like I have
Mm.
an Irish last name. I have white features, at least to me. But to white people, I'm not white enough. But also
Mm.
to my Puerto Rican friends, who are all still my friends, they're all great people, but I also wasn't Puerto Rican enough.
Mm.
So I fell into absolutely this kind of hole within that growing up, finding my own identity. Where do I fit in? And I didn't really feel like I fit in anywhere specifically. And I think it made it a little bit more difficult too because, I speak a little broken Spanish. I don't really
Mm.
speak fluent Spanish. And that was a decision, my mom made. She regrets it now, of course. She's like, think about all the roles you could have easily done now. But
Mm.
it's an old school kind of mentality. When my grandparents moved here, they named my mom and all her sisters very white names from,
Mm.
black and white 60s, 70s shows to fit in. They all went to Catholic school. And so it was just the thing about fitting in and survival, and you kind of
Mm.
adopt a more American, um, whatever, personality, name, etc. And I think a little bit of that was still probably in my mom that she carried forward. And, in her mind, she was probably just trying to protect us, make it easier for us. So she didn't teach us Spanish. growing up, even though she could have. She speaks it fluently. You know, that was her
Mhm.
first language. But times have changed, people have changed, and yeah, yeah.
No, it totally makes sense. When we hear about the stories, the Puerto Ricans that move, especially the Puerto Ricans that moved to the States, they were trying to fit in, right? They were going through a lot already because they were not they did not speak English,
Right.
right? Like the way that the Americans wanted them to speak it. So we watch movies like West Side Story, for example, right? Like tells a story of Puerto Ricans going to New York and seeing like the reality of it, and I think it was even crueler than that.
Yeah.
So I imagine, right, like your grandparents move in, they were trying to find ways to like, okay, how do we actually fit in here? How do we actually move forward? And yeah, that's a thing that goes, went to your mom, and now, you kind of like breaking that and seeing like, oh, wait, like things are different now. We can move forward. We can know our culture now the way that before it wasn't like we were not able to, clearly. And and I see that you are, and I love that you are, you're proud of who you are now, and it doesn't matter. Like that's the thing for me, moving from Puerto Rico, coming here, it was like, wait, like to be Puerto Rican, you don't have to know Spanish. That's not a rule. There's not a rule that says that, right?
Mhm.
It's just being connected to your culture and just being able to okay, like being open to understand where you come from, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
And that makes you who you are. But yeah, having two cultures, it must have been really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
what
Absolutely.
about what about your Irish side of your family?
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up a lot with that side of the family too. Some of my favorite holidays are spent with them, like Easter, Halloween, all that stuff. I feel like a lot of our culture with that side of the family came through things like food as well.
Mm.
But more of like food and time together. I'm not saying they were the worst cooks, but there's a reason why my dad became a chef.
Oh, wow.
Because yeah, there's something missing there for sure. But in a familial sense, there's a lot of connectivity there. Even through faith on both sides, both sides being Christian, more of like an Irish Catholic and then a Roman Catholic.
Mm.
There's a lot of overlap and there's a lot of interesting interplay between the cultures. Um, but but yeah, I mean, I do feel like I got the best of both.
I love that. So I imagine your dad makes the Puerto Rican kind of like cuisine with the Irish cuisine, and he was like, you know what, let's do something here. Did
yeah,
he?
yeah,
Did
yeah.
he? Did he mix both like dish, like both like backgrounds of food and made
Oh yeah.
something?
I mean, absolutely. He's super imaginative when it comes to cooking, but also he's very respectful. I mean, he can do just about anything, but my mom is the one who cooks all the Puerto Rican dishes. I mean, and holidays, like when we get together now, we get together with me and my brothers and their children for Christmas. Um, and we make bennu, and we also do like
Mhm.
roast and different things, but like my mom is the one who handles that. And he loves it too. He's like, just you do it. You know it best. It comes out better that way. So I'm sure he could, but he doesn't bother to touch it. He lets the
Mm.
professionals handle it.
I love that. I love that, man. So how would you say that your heritage have influenced your work and your career choices, right? Like moving forward of that, like you have that background on you have that heritage, you have that. Now, how do you use that, right? Like for your work and what you do in life.
Yeah, I think it's kind of already ingrained, whether I want it to be or not. The good and the bad. I think first and foremost, there's a curiosity, an innate curiosity to learn. So I'm constantly interested in learning more about my culture, learning more
Mm.
about my people, learning about our community, our language, our kind of intricacies when it comes to even how we do life together. But also, I bring a lot of my own familial and cultural background to everything that I do. It's just baked into who I am, and I think a big part of how that's come across is actually in the Spider-Man project. Like
Mm.
not only is it a part of a Who Am I project that I'm kind of exploring and utilizing as a vessel for that, but I'm bringing a lot of the things that I know, like. the heroes I looked up to were not just Spider-Man, but they were like my mom and my aunts and my grandma, and so we kind of personify that through Aunt May. And so Aunt May actually, something that a lot of the characters do in this show actually, which makes it stand out and unique, is we kind of approach them like we bring forward the stereotype that everybody kind of expects, and then we flip it on its head.
Oh, yeah.
So like something that we're doing with Aunt May, and her being kind of a community leader actually throughout the show, is something we haven't seen and explored enough. And when I think of who that person is, boom, Rose Bianco.
Rose, yes.
Right. So Rose is obviously an extension of my upbringing with like my mom and my grandma and different things like that. So that's who I automatically envision. That might not be everybody's first choice for Aunt May, but I think when they see her and you see the way in which our culture bleeds through these personality traits of community, of being a caregiver, but not in a weird kind of anti-feminist way, but it's natural, right? Like when someone was sick in our neighborhood or a family member or anything, you just start cooking for them. You just take them in. A stranger come, you take them in the house. There are things baked into our culture and the way in which we approach community. And I noticed that even here in Atlanta, with the Latinism media and everything, it's so community focused, and it's if I eat, we all eat kind of thing. And I absolutely feel like that's a part of me, and is a way in which I'm approaching the superpower element of our show this time around. And it's everybody has a superpower. Being Puerto Rican is actually her superpower in a way. So
Oh, I love that, man. I'm excited to talk about more about that because Spider-Man is something that really resonates with me. But before we move on further in there, I wanted to ask you, what was your first project and what brought you to the industry? What moment was that moment that you said, okay, this is the project that was really making me go into this crazy industry, into this crazy business?
Like what was like the first film or something that I saw that made me want to pursue acting?
The moment that you did it, that you said you did something and you were like, oh my God, I'm good at this. Let's continue doing this.
Okay, absolutely. So yeah, I kind of got into acting since I was actually a kid. It came around that time where I was battling cancer. I was kind of introduced to all of those things, the art, the Spider-Man, the theater and stuff. And so it was always an outlet for me, and a really good one that I really needed at that time. But I feel like when I started to take it really seriously was high school. I was doing it in middle school, but I was also, we kind of had this expectation in my family that everyone was going to go to college for baseball. So I'm like the third baseman. My oldest brother's the shortstop of the family. Nathan, my middle brother, catcher. And everybody did, and I was the only one who kind of like started to slow down on soccer and track and baseball in high school. And I started to try to prioritize theater a little bit more. And everybody like supported me, but they're also kind of like, what's going on here? Like,
what you doing?
That's not right. Like, let's focus. Let's get a real job kind of thing. And, but yeah, it really happened when I took this summer class at MHS, Manchester High School, which was not the high school that I ended up going to, but I did all my theater there. So like I would go to my own school during the day, and then after school, I'd take the bus to go to MHS, and I would do their theater there. And it was really special. And that kind of started from that summer period where I came in. I was the only kid who didn't know anybody there. They all were friends, and the directors and the theater teachers, everybody knew each other. And I was this little kid. I mean, it took me a long time to go through puberty. So I was like this 4'11" little kid. I was 10 years old, and everybody's like, what? Like, you're in the wrong place, little boy. And then as soon as I kind of opened my mouth and approached one of those first scenes, everybody was just kind of like, all right,
whoa,
something's happening here. And then that's when they kind of invited me to okay, you got to keep coming back. We also do sock and busking on Fridays. We have, auditions for the fall shows coming up. We'd love to see you there. And I took them on it. They started to take me seriously. So I started to take it more seriously. And yeah, I did the Laramie Project, that next year with them. And that's a really great show where everybody gets to play sometimes 8 to 10 roles.
Wow.
It's a hefty thing, especially for a young kid to do. And the subject matter was super emotional and really difficult for me, actually. And I matured a lot through that process. And I know for sure when my parents, my grandparents came to see me in that show, that everybody just kind of, they got it. They got it. I
Understood.
always kind of knew, but they got it. And they were like, oh, wow, he can actually do this. And I think every year through high school after that, I was in The Odd Couple the next year and had the best time ever. Got to do comedy, so complete opposite. But they cast me as
Hmm.
not as Felix, so we kind of went
Oh,
expectation. Yeah, the guy playing Felix was like this 6'3", like really big white boy named Tim, one of my best friends, and then I'm this little Puerto Rican guy playing. So we kind of played with against convention, I'll say, with that show, and we actually both won Best Actor awards in the state for that show.
wow.
Yeah, so things continued to grow, and my family kept coming back, and they kept seeing all right, there's something here with him, and I think that's the shifting moment where I knew I was going to get it done anyhow, whether they kind of believed in me or not, and I guess luckily the work just kind of started to flow, started to compound, and I just tried to learn. And then obviously I went to college for it, so it's working out.
And that's where it started. I love. So where did you go to college to?
Yeah, Coastal Carolina and South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Nice. So after that, you were like, I'm gonna continue this, and you went for theater. Or you went for like an acting.
Yeah. So I have a acting major, BFA acting. I went there for 4 years. Junior year, we got the opportunity to study abroad in Italy. So I went
Nice.
for in Italy and got to do a physical theater program there, Accademia dell'Arte in Arezzo. Was fantastic. I would not trade that experience for anything. Oh my God.
Wow.
And then I moved here after. And funnily enough, in high school, actually, I knew that I was going to end up in Atlanta. I just kind of saw the way the industry was working, where some of my favorite movies were filming. And I never wanted to do LA, or at least start in LA. I kind of wanted to make a splash and help build an industry. And I knew that I could maybe just get my start that way and then have more options. So I kind of knew no matter what, I was going to end up here. And then I did. I graduated college, and there was just no question where I was going to go. So I've been here for a couple of years now. Yeah.
So you've been here since graduating. That's amazing. And how do you put your experience here in Atlanta for everyone out there who doesn't know a lot about the industry here? What would you say about the industry when you moved here?
Yeah, when I moved here, especially, it was booming. I was also kind of started to happen around the time where COVID was happening, and recently we've had strikes and stuff, so we've definitely had some highs and lows throughout the industry. But I'm also not just completely industry focused when it comes to only doing SAG stuff or commercial work or anything. I'm a creative first. I'm an artist first. So I would say that the indie scene has been also unrelenting, and I feel like more people are taking risks with making their own work and kind of funding their own productions and doing new things. And that's kind of what I care about. That and the theater, I think, are where the longevity is. That's the actor's kind of playground, the classroom, and then filmmaking is the director's kind of field. And I love both. I did come here to pursue film and TV a little bit more, which now I happen to be directing and creating.
Yeah, exactly.
So it really took on a life of its own. But yeah, obviously I'm an actor first, and I think that there's a lot of potential and hope. And we've just got to continue to make a name for ourselves. That's all it is. We have the talent, no doubt about it.
We have that. Yeah.
The people I've seen here are some of the best people, and we also happen to be working with some of those people in Spider-Man, which is just a pinch me moment, because I've seen brilliant actors here, and on the theater scene too. Separate little side note, but we have a great theater scene, and I think we just need more of it, and we need more recognition, and we need to build that up too, because this could really be a theater hub. We have the ability for sure. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, no, and right now, that's I love that you mentioned, because I think what makes Atlanta, and in the industry is the theater scene. Definitely the independent filmmaking that's happening right now. There's a big boom right now. I mean, we know the Atlanta Film Festival, when it happens every year, we see amazing projects happening, and projects are made here with talent from here, and the crew from here, and it's amazing to see that. And I love that you're a fair believer of theater, because I think that's what a lot of film actors, we need to go back to theater. We need to use that as a tool, like you said, is it's a playground. You do theater, you do indie, it's a playground, and you keep creating and and discovering yourself as an artist. And I think that is very important. And theaters like the Alliance Theater, for example, here, that are doing a difference, not only in the theater department, just like that, but in the education department. So we have places where we can go and really learn and really get our hands in.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful. And with that, you also created your own company, right? Golden Century Films. So we're talking about independent filmmaking, about how you are a creator at first. So can you tell us about how did Golden Century Films came about?
Yeah. I mean, I think initially I was like 12 or 13. And I created a YouTube channel. I'm the generation who grew up on YouTube, like when it got created, when it was kind of like, what even is this? And then when it just took off. And I honestly I've had training, I've had people, mentors, I've had a bunch of different things, but I've grown up and I've pretty much learned everything from YouTube. That is like my superpower, is I am constantly watching YouTube tutorials, videos, breakdowns. I'm just completely analyzing everything. And so much of what I know how to do and can put into practice now is from YouTube. I mean, I grew up watching it, I at least understand it, and then to start to create that experience for myself. But anyhow, yeah, it started off like growing up on YouTube and being like, wow, I would love to be a YouTuber kind of one day. I'd love to like at least have a YouTube channel. And obviously I'm an actor, so then I'd probably make films. I'd probably make short films, feature films, skits, fight scenes. I would just do all this stuff. And I actually have a video I'll probably make public again called Welcome to Golden Century Films. And it's a little me just being like, hey guys, welcome. How's it going? This is Golden Century Films. I got a lot of love on my old Spider-Man video, so if you want to see a Spider-Man show or film, like I'd love to make that. Literally,
this is mini you.
It's literally I'll make it public.
Crazy.
People are gonna be mind blown that this idea has been there since the very beginning, since I was a kid, and it's just taken me this long to actually say, you know what, I can do something with that. I actually have the resources, the maturity, the tools, and something to say. I have perspective now. Okay, yeah, there's a story I can tell. There's something I want to say with this. It's been there since the beginning, and I don't know. I just named it Golden Century Films. I think I was just trying to be like, what sounds like futuristic and like an adult and like, I don't know what's inspiring. And I just literally imagined like a film roll. Like I just imagined me in my head just throwing a film roll and it like unraveling and bouncing across, and it just kind of like glowing this like golden, beautiful, like, like heavenly light. And I was like, okay, Golden Century Films. And I never doubted it. I made the channel, I called it that, and I never second guessed it, and I never changed it. And throughout the years, I'd like upload different videos and, like short films I've done and different things, projects for class. But it wasn't until recently that I kind of had to take it seriously, because I'm like, all right, well, I've had this forever. I've had this story forever. I've had this passion forever. It's like, no one's going to do it but me. So why not take it seriously? And I was like, I know for sure, like I have the abilities. I know I can do this. If I took this seriously, that my life would change. And so I've started to take it seriously, and things have already started to happen.
And you did.
Yeah. Now I'm a business owner because, it's an LLC now, not just a YouTube channel. It's a production company, and it has a future and a mission, and part of that is something I've always wanted to see in art. I love going to the movies, and I love walking out of the movies inspired. And that's happened to me like countless times. And I feel like I can change the world. And then a week later, that feeling kind of goes away, and I get caught up in school or get caught up in my work or my relationships, and things just don't go that way. And then I ended up not really doing anything. And I think part of my potential and also people around me suffer from that. And so I'm like, well, there's a disconnect. And how do I bridge that thing? So part of what I'm the philosophy, the experiment here all along was, okay, how can we bridge art and social change? How can we give art utility is really the question.
Mm.
And one of the ways in which we're trying to do that through Spider-Man, and it will be through all of our original productions, next would be, we're partnering with nonprofit organizations, and we are using crowdfunding not only to make our product, but also for Spider-Man, for example. It's like, how could
Mhm.
we tell a story about a hero and then not empower our audiences to be heroes in the world? Like, that just feels, makes so much sense, right? It almost feels like common sense, but it's not. It just makes a lot of sense. So we're like, that's the future, I think, of art. The future of art
Yes.
is people not only seeing themselves on screen, but then walking that out in real life and actually making a difference in their community. So, I felt like it was impossible to tell a story about this kid, figuring out his identity, eventually becoming the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and then not pouring into our neighborhoods, ourselves. So part of the way we approach that with this project, for example, is we're partnered with a nonprofit called Friendly Neighborhood Activists. Funny enough, not from,
Literally named
not,
like that.
yeah, just, man, God, all God. And they have initiatives, and one of those would be this community hygiene locker. So it's stuffed with all these hygiene products that are eco-friendly, green, period packs for women experiencing homelessness,
Wow.
and it's completely free, managed by us. And we just continue to refill it and supply the homeless community specifically with free access to kind of healthcare and hygiene products. And that's just one of the very things that they want to do. And to me, I'm like, that's the starting point. We'll fund our episode, but I want to give audiences an opportunity to be heroes in the real world. Part of what they can do is also fund and support that initiative. So that's kind of the whole point of our production company is every product. We don't just want to depict stories of
Just do it.
communities. Like, we want to pour back into those communities, like they don't benefit if, we just profit off their suffering. Like, no, we've got to help. And the art is to draw awareness to what we can all do. And it's not like a supplement for action. It's hopefully just like a start, a way to start,
And it's so beautiful what you do, because art, it's all about changing. It's all about right, like changing your life. And you're not only changing lives on the inside, you're helping in reality of, like, 'cause there's people out there who are struggling in different ways.
Yeah.
And I love the mix of, yes, it's Spider-Man, he's a superhero, we are saving life inside a film, it's fiction, but how can we save lives outside of that?
Exactly.
And I think that's sometimes we as artists, we forget about that. We forget about how can we continue helping the community out there, the community that's supporting. And you're doing it the right way. Thank you for doing that, Benett. It really means a lot, because I think people need to do that more. It's not about, I don't have money, I don't have anything to give you. Okay, then let's open spaces for people that are out there that are willing to, to help somehow. Sometimes even preparing a dish of pollo guisado, it's enough, right? That's what people need,
Yeah.
And we always think it's all about money, but there's more to that. There's more to, like, how we can actually help the community, and you're doing it. Where do you think that comes from on you?
Yeah, I would say two places, and I have to put one above the other. But they're synonymous with who I am as a person. And we've already started to kind of talk about those things. But number one, first and foremost, God Almighty. I mean, my faith absolutely is a driving force for my life and for the way in which I approach art. And I want to continue to be a better person in my relationships and in the world. And that comes from God doing for us what we can't do for ourselves. So, the strength or whatever that I can have is not just on me. I absolutely cannot do it alone. And I'm grateful to be able to say that and know that, because I don't have to. That's not why we were created. We were not created to be alone. Funnily enough, the show's called Spider-Man Alone.
Spider-Man Alone.
And then you'll learn the whole theme is about, community. And so partnered with that, Yeah, my culture, my upbringing, my family, especially my Puerto Rican side. There's no doubt about it. You know, everything is about taking care of one another, nursing each other back to health, community, education. I mean, all of it. It's where I first understood. Oh, like we have a responsibility. Funnily enough,
Mm,
to take care of each other. Like that's who we are. And then yeah, that kind of is bleeding through, I think, in the art and in the people we're casting, like Rose and myself. And you know, we're not trying to just draw attention to it and say, you know, look, we're different because there's a Puerto Rican or a mixed Peter Parker and there's a Puerto Rican Aunt May.
mm,
I think obviously too, I'm an artist, I'm a story first person. If it doesn't help the story, then you know, whatever,
yeah.
semantics. But man, it helps the story. I think that there's probably no better representative from my experience for what a hero can look like than someone like Rose playing Aunt May. And that's a lot of why I'm doing what I'm doing, and a lot of the reason why we've cast such a diverse group of actors in the shows, because that's the way the world looks to me. That's the way
Yeah.
I grew up with the world. You know, that's what New York looks like. New York doesn't look like, you know, everybody's white and that, you know, it's not at all. I mean, this kid is in Queens, right? Like, come on. Let's be honest about what real life looks like, and real life looks like real people, and that's all we're trying to depict in our stories.
Love that. Love that. Thank you for sharing that. And talking about real life. Real life is that you got 1 million views on YouTube, man. Tell us, how did that happen? Like, what amount of, in what period of time that happened, and how do you feel after that? Because you know that trailer got everywhere.
Yeah,
Because I saw it first on somewhere else. I didn't even saw it. I didn't even see it on your page. I saw it in another page. So you know that's crazy. So how did that happen? How did that make you feel, man?
yeah. I mean, I'm flustered. I'm speechless. Like I'm still processing, and honestly, it's been a little overwhelming. Just the response. So I kind of had to set boundaries with myself. Like, all right, my job
Mm-hmm.
is to continue to be an actor and be a director, be a storyteller. You know, not to be a social media person or a comic figure. Like, that's not the work. But yeah, the outpouring of support, the attention it's gotten has been phenomenal. And you know, I know we're creating a project that has you know all the potential to be successful in a really standard kind of sense. You know, I feel like we're doing the right things, but not because we're trying to be clickbaity or we want, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want fame from this, but I do want to reach a lot of people because I feel like we have something that they need, you know. And that's the way I've described the project so many times. It's like, you know, we're giving this character also, by the way, I cannot take credit because this character is one of the biggest characters in the entire
Mm-hmm.
world. So it
Mm-hmm.
already has a baked in great power that, you know, I did nothing to earn. So then the question becomes, okay, if there's already this power here, I have a responsibility to use that wisely. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have a platform I did nothing to earn because I'm just, you know, putting forth this character. And of course I'm bringing myself to it. And I hope that's why people stay. But I have something I didn't even earn. So how can I steward that properly and actually help, impact, inspire, and lead, you know, our audience or the next generation properly, appropriately, wisely?
Mm-hmm.
How can I be a good leader? And so that's where a lot of the focus has been and continues to be for this project. But yeah, it got 1.1 million views in under 21 hours. So
Wow.
it just absolutely rode the algorithm well. I got
Wow.
from people saying this was like the best algorithm pull I've ever had, or like YouTube recommended this to me and all this stuff. So you know, I think we released it on National Spider-Man Day, which was fitting because it's our way
Yeah.
to say, you know, thank you and honor this character. That's why we're doing it. It's a passion project. Um, and also, I think we just have an approach that I come from a fan perspective, so I know what fans want. I am a fan. Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've grown up in the community with all of these people, and only now am I stepping up as a creator, but we all kind of share this hive mind. I mean, we know that we want a more character driven kind of psychological study. We want to see the comic books a little bit more reflected, which longer format would be like a TV series, is the way they're kind of
Mm-hmm.
structured anyhow. Peter Parker's so great, not because he's Spider-Man, but because he deals with real life issues like all of us. And as I've gotten older, gained more experience, you know, suffered from things like identity and addiction and broken relationships and all of these things, I understand absolutely, you know, from my own personal experience. And I know I'm not alone in that.
Mm.
So if we can just put forth this character that we all love, but approach it in a way that kind of is able to dissect why he is the way he is, and how can we all grow better, and almost put forth like a blueprint for healing.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that's kind of what we're all after, you know. We're all suffering in our own ways in this life, and hopefully with this art, we're not just going to it for escape, but it's a reminder like of our own strength, and that's
Mm.
what we want to do first and foremost. So I think that I want to say I hope that's the reason why it's resonated this well, and that we just continue on that path.
Hey, I mean, we gotta give credit where credit is due. I mean, the quality of the whole thing was, it's just amazing, you know. I mean, I know it's just a short clip, but it's just like, it's just amazing, like how it blows your mind, like how good the quality looks, you know, and the story, you can see that there's something behind it, right? And I love that you mentioned all that about the character, because I know we're living in, you know, right now in a world like a lot of people are feeling like the superhero fatigue, right? Because we're seeing the same thing. Yes,
Yeah.
I think we've forgotten why superheroes were created in the first place, right? And I think you're bringing something to it. I think, you know, the more real you make superhero character, the more you're gonna feel connected to it. You know, it's not about the powers, I believe, right? It's not about the superhero powers. It's about what you do with it and about how you deal with life. You said it
Right.
yourself, you know, Peter Parker has gone through a lot, and you know, in your story, you're bringing that to life and using that, in, you know, to move the character forward.
Right.
And I think that's what makes it special, you know. And because yes, we are living in tough times with the superhero industry, and we've heard a lot of people talk about it. Uh, but I love that you're bringing something fresh and new to the story, because I think that's what superheroes were. I think that's why superheroes were created in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's not about the mask, it's about the person underneath.
Yeah.
You know, life is not about fame or success or being an icon. It's about relationships, you know. And the older I've gotten, the more I've understood the importance of that. And so if I can use something that almost kind of is that pop culturally, and then bring us back to, again, like what you're saying, why it was created in the first place, you know, honoring these kind of, even kind of like older traditional, you know, principles.
Hmm.
I think we need that, especially today. Absolutely. So yeah, we are honoring the early 60s comics with it, and we're also honoring, I think, Puerto Ricans, but everybody, our own kind of culture, families, and upbringing, and just trying to, again, the people are the heroes here. And if we can help people understand that and start to walk that out in life, then I think the world is going to be a better place. Because now we're not all just trying to be Spider-Man, we're just trying to do the next right thing as ourselves.
I love that, man. I love that you're bringing not only, right, like you said, like you're doing a character, you're bringing new things to it, you're giving it a twist, you're giving it something fresh, you're giving it a different story, and I love that, you know, because yes, people talk about, oh, we you know, the same character, the same stories. No, we can have one character and give it a completely, you know, 180 and change it.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing with this project.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I love that. Have you heard about La Borinqueña, the comic, the Puerto Rican comic?
No.
You've never heard about that? Okay.
Fill me in.
You are a fan of comics and superheroes. You have to search whenever we finish
Oh,
here. You have to look for La
yes.
Borinqueña. You know it?
Yes. It's the woman, right?
It's a woman, yeah, the Puerto Rican, yeah.
Red, blue,
Yeah.
white. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my mom showed me that like years ago. Yes.
So I met the creator of that comic. I met him in New York because he's from New York, and he's now, you know, because his character La Borinqueña had a comic. I believe it was with Wonder Woman or someone big in the comics, and they made like a comic that connected with her, and it was amazing. So I love that you're doing that. You know, that's why I say that, because you know you're giving the heritage there. You're changing the story. You're giving it a twist. And it just reminded me of La Borinqueña, because La Borinqueña has been, being born and raised in Puerto Rico. There was a lot of talks of that when I was growing up, and now it's become, very popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just reminded me of that, and I just wanted to say it to see if you,
I love that. I'm honored. Yeah, absolutely. That's brilliant.
Yeah. So Bennett, where are you right now in the process? What phase are you in the process of making the film? It's a TV show, right?
Yeah, it's a TV
series.
series. It's structured like a 7-episode Netflix type of series. I wanted to create something that was like a Stranger Things in structure, something that they could binge but had a lot of meat. That being said, we're funding one episode at a time. So that's strategic. That's going to give us opportunity to be more meticulous and produce every episode with a higher quality than if we just fundraise all at once. It'd be a little bit too much to bite off. We probably wouldn't have the resources we need. So our whole goal is let's just do one at a time. Let's scale with our audience. And then you end up with like the best produced show we could do because we're taking it one step at a time with the audience. So where we're at right now is just released a teaser trailer, which many have seen, but many have not. So if you've not seen it,
1 million people have seen it.
Just type in Spider-Man Alone, teaser trailer, Golden Century Films, or Spider-Man Alone, it'll come up. And then we're actually finishing up our official trailer right now. We're in the process of finishing that. We're on like the last shot or two, and these are just CG heavy scenes. And we're a small team right now. This is all before crowdfunding. I appreciate so much like the fact that you said like, I really enjoyed the quality. It looked very well made. That means a lot because it was stressful to make because we didn't have a lot of resources. I mean, we made the teaser, this trailer with practically no budget. A lot of help, a lot of favors, but again, just a clear direction. I think you can make something with nothing if you know what you're doing, And
there's no excuses. Again, like people talk about money all the time, and if you really want to make something, if you really have an idea, if you really have, the North, if you really have, and if you know the people, if you know the right people too, because sometimes it's like get together with people who know things that you don't know.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're all learning from each other, and so the small team that I kind of put together to film the live action stuff, and then my VFX team, which are all over the world, and we've like just coordinated for so long all of our time and time zones and stuff. But I knew what I wanted to make, and somehow we pulled that off with really not a lot of resources, but maintain the integrity of the story. And I think that'll come across a lot clearer with the trailer. There's a clear message there that's only hinted at in the teaser. Yeah. All of that to say, we've created that just to be a launch pad for the series. We haven't filmed really anything from the show yet because we do need funding. We do need resources and support to make that first episode. We have everything we need. We have our cast, we have our crew, we have the script. So we are at the point right now where once this trailer gets finished, we'll put it out there. Hopefully it does as well as a teaser, and that'll also be launched with our Indiegogo campaign. And that Indiegogo campaign is so thorough and has so much more information, pictures, everything about the show, about our process, about our approach. And it's specifically just to fund the first episode. So that'll be coming out soon. I mean, potentially by the time this podcast airs, it might be live or within the couple of days of this podcast airing. So people can look out for that, and they can check out the Indiegogo and learn a lot more of what we just kind of touched on here as to why we're doing it, how we're doing it, and who we're doing these things with. But that's the goal. Get the first episode funded and then take it from there.
I love that, because my next question was actually how can people support? So, people should check out Golden Century Films right now. After today, every day, check it out because your campaign is going live. Okay, right?
Yep. Okay. It will be going live, so check it out. Yep.
Perfect. And your goal after that, are you planning to shoot directly to YouTube, or you want to hold it up for something else?
So we are having to approach it because it's IP. It's copyrighted IP that we don't own. We're just fans saying, hey, we really love this character. we want to make a love letter to the character. So it'll be free to watch on YouTube on our channel, Golden Century Films, which is our production company. Maybe Vimeo too, but yeah, it'll be released online for free. And because we're doing it episode by episode, that means people aren't gonna have to wait years to see something. Like once the first episode is done, it'll air, it'll premiere, people can watch it. It'll actually be a 2-part premiere, so people will have plenty to feast on, and that'll also lead us directly into funding episode 2. So the whole goal is, we scale our audience and our resources every episode. We fund, we go into production, we edit and release, fund, production, edit, release.
Wow.
It just stacks and stacks and
It's
stacks.
it's like a whole machine, it keeps going.
And no one's waiting on episodes because they already have episodes to chew on while they wait for the next one and build that suspense and anticipation. And it gives us time to breathe and be humans and create and really just make something worth watching. So
I love that. I love that. And people out there should know that making a film is not easy. Making a TV series is even harder. And having a project with visual effects in it, it's not cheap at all.
Yeah, not cheap or easy. I went into this with zero knowledge of any CGI softwares that we use, language. I just didn't even know where to start with the direct. I mean, I had to direct it in the teaser. It's much more present even in the trailer. And yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm directing this. I know how to direct actors. Okay, how do I direct an animator for where do I even start? So that was a learning process in and of itself, but I'm really proud of just how skilled our team is and how they're able to bring together this thing up here. They're able to help fill in the gaps that I can't do. And then, yeah, just again, having that vision, seeing it through. I'm really proud with what we've got, what you guys see. And I think the quality speaks for itself. And when we have more support, we can do even more with it. Yeah.
I love that. It's like I always say, let's support new stories. Let's support new talent. Let's support Latinos out there because, I love that you created this because you wanted to create your own stories. You wanted to do your own stuff. And I think that's as Latinos, as people who are, outside of the normality of being, white and stuff. I think it's very important for us to create our own stories and to tell them the way we want them to be told. Because I think we still see in the movies, right, that our stories are not being told the way that we're supposed to be telling them. And there's so many stories of Latinos out there, man. And again, this is why I do this podcast, because I want people to understand that there's so many. We come from different places, we come from different backgrounds, and that makes us who we are. And that's why we choose to create more stories. That's why we choose to tell, a story through the lens, through film, through TV, through theater. And I think it's time for us. I think it's time for us to take over and really, tell it the way it's supposed to. And absolutely. I love the work that you're doing. I love that you're, uplifting new stories. I love that you're, like you said, you want a mix of people on set, because that's what it's all about. It's not about being all Latinos. It's not about being all white. It's not about being all something. It's about being a mix of different, different cultures and different backgrounds, because that's going to make something even better.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what being human is, and when we box out certain voices or even experiences, even if it's things we don't even agree with, taking it a step further, I think we lose something valuable, whether that's something that we can learn or someone or something that we can help. And I think we've got to really find, connect, and commune with one another if we're ever going to be fully human. I think just that's what it means to be fully human. That's what it means to be an artist. So absolutely, we're walking that out. I'm lucky I'm a Puerto Rican being able to walk that out, and hopefully I'm not alone. So.
Yes, man. So, man, again, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for the work that you do. I am a super fan of Spider-Man. That was I think it was my 6th and 7th birthday. It was Spider-Man. And I still have the picture of me dressed as Spider-Man.
It was my birthday.
I love that. So, seeing this was just like, oh my God, I love that it's giving a twist. You're giving a twist to it. And you're changing how things are being told. And I think that's very important. And it's something that people should see on you, that there's not one thing to one character. So now, there's something more that you can change into it. And and you're doing it. And you know, the way that you're also doing this and helping the community out there, and you know, it's beautiful, and that's what art is, and that's what we should, that's your goal in life. And I see it, you know, and you're doing it, and you're inspiring other people, and you're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for, you know, what the world is holding on to you right now. And I'm excited for Spider-Man to keep growing and keep, you know, expanding. And you know, maybe Marvel will see it and will call you. I mean, Marvel, if you're hearing right now, just give him a call, man. Does that, you know? And thank you for telling new stories. Thank you for uplifting, you know, our stories. I think it's very inspiring, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. You do the same with your platform. So I'm glad we get to support one another and just to continue doing the work that we were created to do. You know, that's all it comes down to.
That's what it comes down to, man. So again, thank you. But before we go, before we finish, you know, I have a trivia part that I want to do with you real quick. So
right.
It's just 3 questions. You choose a category, and I'm going to ask you 3 questions about Latino. If it's right, if it's wrong, I don't care. You know, it's all about having fun. Okay.
Cool.
So I'm going to give you the categories real quick. We got Latin music.
Okay.
We got food. We got guess the artist. And we got culture facts. So we got Latin music, we got food, we got guess the artist, we got culture.
Okay. I'm very competitive, but I also might bomb this. And I love challenging myself. So like I probably would want to go for food, but that'd be where I do the best. So maybe I should do something different, right?
No, it's easy. Food is easy. Food is easy. You got it. I think you got it.
Oh boy. All right, let's go.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let's try this. The first question is, what is the main ingredient in guacamole?
Tomato. No, I'm kidding. Avocado.
See, easy.
Avocado.
Okay, the next one. Hopefully you know this one. What's the popular Puerto Rican fried dish made of mashed plantains?
Come on. My favorite. And then you can make it 2 ways. And I'll say depending on how you fry it and depending on the ripeness of the plantain makes it different. And these are some of my favorite things. You either get tostones or you get maduros. And I love the sweet. It just goes with everything. So
yes, Madura. I mean, I love both of them. I can eat both of them at the same time. It's like I cannot choose.
So
you
good.
know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then the last one. Okay, what is the sweet caramelized milk dessert known across Latin America?
Flan! Flan! So good. My favorite. Oh my god.
Flan de que you like better. I like flan de queso. I like the cheese flan. Yeah.
No.
Have you tried a couple of them or
I have the old reliable, just regular
the
flan.
original, the vanilla one?
Yeah, vanilla leche. Just
okay. You gotta try the queso, the flan de queso. That's my favorite one.
Take it from me. I'm ready.
Flan de queso, flan de Nutella. That's a Nutella flan. Yeah, the coconut flan, man. Like you name it.
Okay, maybe I'm not Puerto Rican after all.
You're missing it. You're missing out. You're missing out on that.
Yeah, that sounds
okay.
Good. Yeah.
That's gonna be. You gotta try now the flan de queso. That's gonna be your thing. Now.
Everybody out there, hold me accountable. That's my homework.
Well, Benett, thank you so much, man, for this episode. I really had a fun time getting to know you, getting to know your work, and getting to know, you know, why you do this. I think as artists, sometimes we forget about why we got into this in the first place. And I think that's something you got very clear with you, like why are you doing this and what you want to do in this industry. And I think that's what it's all about. You know, once we know who we are and what we want to do, we just go along on the ride and keep doing it, you know, and you're doing it. You're showing that it is possible to do it. And I think you're a very good example of that dreams can come true whenever, you know, you really put your head into it. So thank you, Bennett, for really showing us that it's possible.
Mm, I'm honored. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bennett. So before we leave, one quick thing you want to tell all those filmmakers out there, all those creators out there who are afraid of taking the first step.
Okay, great. This is something I learned firsthand. Number one, there's nobody out there that is you. I mean, you are wonderfully and fearfully created by God, meaning that He made you unique with a story, and it's a story that you can embrace. And even if it sounds like, how does that make sense? I'm a cancer survivor, and Spider-Man helped me get through that as a coping tool, and all this thing. I don't have that story for no reason. And the minute I stopped looking at my life as an accident and started looking at like, oh, I was made on purpose with a purpose, my story starts to get real crystal clear, and I start to have a real drive, and I'm not running from myself anymore. So I would say all the things that make you you, and all the things that you're scared of, that you've been through or that you've done, are so important and are a part of you. And do not hide those. Bring it into the light and let it lead you forward. And even if there's room that you can improve, let it be fuel for how you can improve. Just embrace your story. You know, in college, I said, you know, I came up with a philosophy, a who am I project. I think everybody needs to make a who am I project, and that can be a photograph, a actual in-person art performance. It can be a film, it can be a painting, whatever it is. But I think when people are ready to actually start taking the steering wheel of their life and their career, make your who am I project and start there, and then let everything after that come, because you decided, hey, I'm going to show up to this industry. I'm going to show up to life. I'm going to show up to my relationships as me, unapologetically. And I'm going to be met by the people who can see me for who I am. And I think that that's the most freeing thing we can do. And if we can start there in our career, imagine what's possible. You know, imagine I don't have to play out my own hurt even anymore in these characters. No, I just get to understand and love someone complete opposite from me. And that's my goal as an actor too. Like, you know, what role do you have in mind? People ask me all the time, what kind of roles do you want to play? I want to play things that are the complete opposite of me, because I want to understand and learn how to love people better.
Ooh, I love that. I love that, Bennett. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's very important. I think we forget we forget who we are sometimes. We're in this industry. But I think having it very clear from the beginning, I think it takes you very far, and that's that's why you're doing what you're doing. That's why you are where you are right now, because you're very clear of who you are and what you want to do. And that's sometimes as artists we forget about that, and I think it's very important. And everybody has to do that. So everybody right now, if you haven't done it, who am I? Go out, just choose a piece of paper, start writing who you are, and then make it happen.
Exactly.
That's it. Start from there.
Email it to goldencenturyfilms@gmail.com. Send it our way. We want to see your Who Am I project. It's so important that you show up in this world as yourself and not trying to be something that you're not. We need more of you and less of the machine,
Love that. Thank you, Bennett, for that. And how can people reach out to you or reach out to Golden Century Films, or support what you guys are doing? A share, a like, a comment. Where can people find you?
Absolutely. So our website's being built. Eventually, you'll be able to find goldencenturyfilms.com. You can also follow us on YouTube at Golden Century Films, Instagram, all the social media is the same. And then my little name and personal stuff is right there, and you can find that on social media. But do connect, because this entire journey that I'm on, luckily, I'm grateful to be on. It's not about me, so how I can support you guys too, everything that you're doing, artists out there. Again, this is only worthwhile if there's community, and that's what I'm doing. That's what we're here for.
That's how we move forward, by building a community, right? By helping each other and uplifting each other. I mean, money is not an excuse. A like, a comment, a share, that's all we want. That's all we need, to spread the word that we're doing. So thank you, Bennett, again for everything, for this conversation. If you ever need a villain, call me on.
Uh, yeah, so again, everyone, thank you for listening to this episode. Please follow Benett. Please follow his work. Please go now and watch Spider-Man, the trailer on YouTube. And the trailer will come out soon too. So now you can see the teaser, or maybe the trailer is out by now. Maybe we'll see. So check it out right now, and let's keep supporting our Latino stories. I think it's very important. And I always like to close the podcast with this phrase that says, when life knocks you down, levántate con más fuerza, keep fighting. Okay? Mm-hmm. Yes. Hasta la próxima. Thank you, Benett, for being here with us. This was Lights, Camera, Latino, the podcast.